Hey y'all, welcome back to the Just Goodness 333 Little Homestead. I'm Sherilyn and I want to take you around today and let's just have an update of what's going on in the garden. Come on. Did these earth boxes, self-watering systems. My stuff did not do well in them for the winter. Here we have a volunteer squash and it does not look good. That thing has to come out and go in the trash today. But look at this big guy right here. Can you see it? This is a volunteer beefsteak tomato. I grew a couple of beefsteaks in here last season, and this thing sprung up. I've already pruned it back like twice, and it needs it again. Look at what a big monster. Let's check out the tomatoes. It's got some blight, and we've been treating that. Can you see that big tomato back there? Maybe not. Oh well. And in the same bed, we have a couple of volunteer cherry tomatoes that came up. So we're just going to let these guys go, prune them a little bit, continue to treat the blight, and we'll have tomatoes into the spring. This is our Brad's Atomic Grape tomato, and it did not do so great. I still have yet to taste one of those. They're not quite ripe. Here's the last of our little volunteer cherry tomatoes. These volunteered a few years back, and I just save the seeds every year, and they grow like mad. This is the last one, and it's just about done, and it doesn't look so healthy, so we're going to pull it out. And here on this trellis, we have some Blue Lake pole beans I just planted, and they've already topped the trellis. After I pull out this little tomato over here, I'm going to I'm going to mend the bed and weed it. I'm terrible at pulling weeds, so you guys are going to see a lot of weeds in my video. But here I'm going to plant the Chinese red noodle beans. They're delicious. And into the keyhole garden we go. I planted tons of saved flower seeds and nothing came up. Nothing. But look what I did find the other day. Remember a while back we planted the thyme? Those teeny weeny little seeds? And there it is coming up in the cracks. Isn't it beautiful? And it tastes so good. Some of you will remember when I did this this footboard of this bed, painted it and put it in here. There's a video on that. And I have planted some more of the Blue Lake pole beans. These are looking a little yellow along the bottom here. So I'm going to have to go back with some fish fertilizer and fertilize that, give it a little nitrogen. If your plants are looking a little yellow, chances are they need some nitrogen. Alright, on to the in-ground garden. Now I want to warn you before we go in the in-ground garden, it looks a hot mess. It's been so productive, we've gotten so much food out of this thing, but the tomatoes have a blight, and I've treated them. There's been some die-off. There's some new growth that looks really good. They are coming to the end of their cycle, so I don't think they're going to be in here too much longer. I'm going to do some massive pruning and another treatment, and then which we'll get into maybe in another video. I'll actually put a link below to the gardener Gary at the Rusted Garden. He has a blog and a video channel on all things garden-wise. You can learn how to treat all kinds of problems in your garden with his videos. I'll put a link for him below. And now let's go look at these pitiful tomato bushes. But they have produced so much. I'm telling you, I have put away probably at least 14 quarts of pasta sauce, and I have several gallon bags of tomatoes in the freezer waiting for the next round of making sauce, and I've been giving them away to friends and family, and we're eating on them. So it's been very productive, even though they don't look like much right now. Well, come on, let's go. Okay, here they are. This is the tomatoes in the in-ground garden. This is the first year we had this garden. We've done a whole video series on it, so if you haven't seen that, you can go back and check the playlist, Breaking New Ground in a South Florida Garden. These things have produced so much, but they're getting this blight here, and that's just yuck. But I still have some more tomatoes on. These are the Bonnie Best tomatoes from Baker Creek Seed Company, and they have done very well. But you can tell they're getting to the last leg of the race here. Like I said, I'm going to try some aggressive pruning and treat it one more time, and we'll see what we come up with. If not, these things are going to have to go. They've run a good race. This row is where the bush beans were, and I harvested 3 good rounds of bush beans, probably 5 gallons, gallon bags full, and I have them put up in the freezer. And then we got some volunteer tomatoes from the compost right down here. I don't know what they are. I don't know what tomato they came from, but I like to let volunteers grow. I mean, if they put forth that much effort, why not let them grow? Here's the remnants of the cabbage bed. We've already harvested the heads off these cabbages. And even though they're growing back, I don't think we're going to have a long enough cool weather season here. It's February 29th, and I have planted those baby cabbages down there, and I just don't know if they're going to have time to do anything. But we've already harvested these. They were so pretty, like big purple roses. In this bed, we still have some Swiss chard, and we had some lettuce and spinach and bok choy. The bok choy is gone to seed, and let's take a look at that. It bolted and made gorgeous, pretty flowers. Now it's gone to seed, and inside each of these little pods is so many seeds. I have so much bok choy seed that I'm not going to save this. I may save one just to see, may hang it up and let it dry in the house. Just to say I did it. But the bok choy did very well, but it does not like any kind of warm temperatures. As soon as the temperatures got up in the high 70s, it bolted. Over here, in this last row, is where we still have massive amounts of dinosaur kale. It's Nero de Toscano. It's literally classified as a cabbage, but I always just call it dinosaur kale. And it's really good, nice and sweet, but the weather's going to warm up soon, and it's not going to be tasting so great. So later on, today or tomorrow, I'm going to borrow a dehydrator, and I am going to dehydrate all of this up, chop it in bits and dehydrate it up, and save it to put in soups and casseroles and stuff like that later. This is the ornamental kale. It did really, really well. In the beginning, you see this bare spot right here? In the beginning, I had the red Russian ragged jack kale, and it got aphids. It got infested with aphids in December. And I thought, if something's going to draw aphids to my garden in December, I don't think I ever want to grow it again. And over here, these beans are looking pitiful, but I'm telling you, I picked a gallon bag off of them yesterday, and they've been going strong for months. These are the Blue Lake whole beans, and you can see we've got some weather damage from the cold winds that blew through here, and just some leaves drying out because these plants are actually coming to the end of their lifespan, but they're still producing flowers, and flowers mean beans. Look at that. We had planted a few mustard greens here because I've had a problem with nematodes, and nematodes hate mustard greens. And mustard greens put off some kind of enzyme in the soil that helps deter nematodes. And I'm just hoping by growing these here this year that it'll reduce the nematode problem. On this trellis, I planted more of the Blue Lake pole beans. We've got some wind damage there at the top and some older plants. Some are newer plants, some are older plants. And I just love the look of these little flowers. They're just so pretty. And now I have not weeded or anything in here. This garden is a mess. And that's okay. I've been super busy. This is my busiest time of year for my business. And I just haven't had a ton of time to have this well-manicured, perfect garden. And speaking of things not being manicured, I didn't get back here to these cherry tomatoes, and they grew all over the place. But they are growing very, very proficiently. I've picked several gallon bags full. The other day, my little one and I came out here and we picked 109 cherry tomatoes in one day. These are really beautiful. They'll sprawl everywhere. I didn't have a taller trellis. I wish I did. You can see there's a little blight coming on these as well. And we're going to continue to treat them with the 8 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide to 1 gallon of water, sprayed on the top and the bottom of the leaves. And that's a really good treatment for blight. I believe you do that once a week. I also want to bring to your attention, this is an old broomstick. Sometimes you have to use what you have. In this bed I have 3 old metal poles, 1 from a pool net and 2 from old brooms. And I save those so that I can use them in the garden. Speaking of free stuff, here is the framework here that is the lattice all the way around this bed, and actually where I had the volunteer beefsteak tomatoes was an old dog kennel that someone threw out by the side of the road, and I snatched it up. Again, back here we have more mustard greens growing because there was a bad nematode problem last year in the okra we grew back here. So thank you guys for stopping by the homestead and going on this little garden tour with me. And I wish you well. I hope that if you like this video, that you would give a thumbs up, consider subscribing, leave a comment below, and follow me if you want to follow somebody who's learning how to garden in South Florida. South Florida is not an easy place to garden. And I just appreciate the community. If you're from South Florida and you're interested in gardening, or you have a garden, comment below. Let's stay in touch. Let's build a community. Until next time, bye y'all.